That's what the tribe said. They said it's a standoff. The cops, they said, you're not gonna make us stand around for 3 hours again while they throw away your stuff, are they? I said, no, I'll move it. But the tribe wants to do a standoff. The only way we're gonna is by breaking them.
How to deal with the issue, and you guys just want to just act like it's a criminal offense, and you want to be a victim of the reality. Like, this is not a criminal offense, you guys.
Yeah, that's are priceless. They took hours. You know, art's only worth what people will pay for it. Someday these will be likely be worth trillions of dollars because inflation by then. You know.
Who's the artist?
Yosh. Snoop Dogg. That's all set. Make you get hot, make you work up a sweat. When you skip to Luma, darling, not far. Well, let me bring you back to the subject, the pencil set. Make you get hot, make you work up a sweat. When you skip to a room, my darling, not falling in love, but I'm falling for you.
Look at that dancing.
Come on, I can't see
dancing
it.
bear. Hi, dancing bear.
Hey, Super Sir.
What's
Are
happening?
you still my king?
Not really.
What?
What? No, I've got to do my round.
Get over here.
He retired.
Get off that. Get that jacket off and come hang out in your superhero outfit. All right, will you be one of my kings? Look, I found a king. Oh, good. Here's another one. I need a lot of Come here. Superhero. We're gonna have a showdown. They might make you go all the way to Santa Monica though. And if you go halfway, then they will go and throw it away. Remember when I ran away with Ken's cart? Remember when I took Ken? Yeah, then you just gotta move it, but otherwise, Sergeant Boundaries. I call her the Tiger Love Queen, but she's always like, Daisy, boundaries. Daisy, boundaries. And I'm like, what? I can't flip my skateboard in your face?
That's boundaries. Like, boundaries is usually like
This is like
us as an employee. You're an employee, and you're not dealing with what you were hired to deal with, which is crime.
like this.
How are you even in my life right now?
How about if we
For
don't
3
need,
hours.
How about if we don't need them and we get the sanitation workers the fuck out of here and we get Boston and F and we get all of the enforcers on the boardwalk to come together and we tell sanitation get the fuck out of here, and if someone makes a mess we make them clean it up. We get people who volunteer to clean up and we garden, and we, instead of coming here to pick up the same mess every single day, we come here and we check on our garden and see how it's growing. And we check on the animals and we steward them and take care of them. And you want to know something? Oh my God, the cats are raping each other. We need to teach the cats how to have more empathy. And oh my God, like some of the senior male elephants got killed, and now the other males don't know how to socialize. So we need to bring in these in. Like, how do we deal with emotional needs, not just physical subsistence? Like when we're like, oh, people need food and shelter. What about emotional needs? What about the need for autonomy? What about the fact that I woke up today freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, okay, I want to skateboard at 6:30. The sun's almost up. Like, when do I leave? They're gonna throw out my stuff. The whole way here, I'm freaking out. I get here, the cops are like, we're gonna throw out your stuff.
Okay.
I live here.
Daisy, emotional needs are intangible. You cannot touch it.
we're
It's
just
intangible,
vendors here.
and because it's intangible, you're never gonna fill it with a mansion, a
the
new
adjustment
car, or
we're trying to-
trinkets, or a bank
Yeah.
account, because those are physical things. And so this whole reality pushed us into the physical and made us believe that our worth is based on the physical, while we ignore our emotions, our feelings, our exploration, our discovery, everything that really means something to us, our experiences, our wisdom is intangible. So you're never gonna fill up the intangible with trinkets. And so that's why people are emotionally depleted, because they have been convinced to buy a trinket to feel better, but it's only temporary, because now they need a bigger trinket, a shinier trinket, another trinket, over and over and over. So it's no different than a bully pushing somebody down to feel elevated temporarily. And so a bully has to have somebody under them in order to feel elevated artificially. But true elevation leaves nobody behind you, below you, above you. Everybody's at your side. And you realize elevation is for everybody, but we're not in an elevation society. We're in a hierarchy where the elite have decided to keep the power for themselves and hand it over to their relatives from generation to the next, to the next, to the next, as if they're a monarch in America, working with the other monarchs of the world, using the intelligence services to spy on Americans and to target patriots that care about our own country. Because these people, these families are not loyal to our country, they're loyal to the World Economic Forum, the elite of the world that hang out and party together in Switzerland, and they get have a whole huge meeting once a year in Davos. Like all of these elite, all of a sudden in the mountains, they have no resources, but that area of Switzerland is supposed to be neutral as the banking center of the world, but yet we fail to realize that corruption could be seen physically, because the corruption is them chasing the money. So the end result of corruption is the wealth that they're chasing and attempting to co-opt and take over. And so all we have to do is do a great audit around the world and see who claims what. And say, yo, Mr. Mickey Mouse Clinton, how the fuck you own $1 billion? And when you have no way of proving it. Like they use the same strategy and tactics towards any common criminal, you could just use it towards them and say, how the fuck are you owning and controlling $1 trillion? It's impossible. Statistically, in AI, anyone that creates any type of different AI in the world is gonna get the same result, which is impossible statistically, mathematically, for you to be claiming to own all of this property. Mr. Rothschild, Mr. Rockefellers, Mr. Soros, Mr. Bill Gates, and all the rest of these characters, they want to just buy everything, consume everything, because they literally have control of the printing presses and they're printing money for themselves, and they call it officially, not, they used to do it in the darkness, but now they're doing it in our face, and they call it quantitative easing. Quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2. It's easing new money into the system, devaluing us hard workers that have to work and earn it while they're printing it. And so now, from growing up, being able to buy a pair of shoes or a meal at a restaurant for less than $5, $10, now it's like $100 a pair of shoes, or to go with your family to eat at a restaurant. To pay rent, you got to work 2 months to pay 1 month rent. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're perched on the edge of that, trying to vend, our art.
Entrepreneurship, the foundation of this nation, of the lemonade stand,
it's nice to have the structure
is being regulated. And so our police are regulating entrepreneurship and people that are trying, while targeting those who don't give a rat's ass, and are criminalizing and targeting the people that are trying. So these people that are selling tacos, the criminals are targeting and robbing them right now, and it's growing out of control. And instead of helping them, they want to lock up people that represent them and defend them.
They know I'm a real artist. I'm bringing Harry Potter world art and my chapters. All of it's real. But if we're like sitting here thinking as if we're sitting in entitlement, and then the cops regulating on us like this, yeah, it caused like unnecessary stress on our show. But now it feels more like I can show the art for what it is. I'm supposed to step aside as the artist. But to have a vending lifestyle that agrees with our laws, I guess it pushed boundaries.
Don, you just dropped some major wisdom, then you skated off till anyone could respond. I like what you said about domination structures kind of getting out of hand. So I want to share like what was happening in my brain when you were sharing. I was visualizing so think of two-dimensional.
I don't mind being quiet for 20 minutes.
You better speak, please.
So go ahead.
She wanted to say
Go ahead.
So we start off two-dimension. When we're born, we're technically a single cell because the egg gets fertilized, and then we split. So 2-dimension is eat or get eaten. So at one time I was and you were, we were all single cells and we were all like, ooh, like separating, and if you look at it from the perspective of the cells in our body, that's 2-dimensional. It's like eat or get eaten. 3rd dimension is what we're in. It's very dense, and it's what you're saying is all facts and great wisdom. And if we did look at the wealth and stuff, we would see it doesn't make sense that it's a system that's flawed,
the greater picture.
that meets the needs of the people who are in charge of it and who control it and who benefit from it, and it's rigged. And in the 3rd dimension, so when we move from 2nd dimension to 3rd dimension, we all started off in 2nd dimension where we're like, eat or get eaten. 2nd dimension is not quite as scary because now we have an option to not just live or die. We have an option to thrive or suffer.
Yeah.
So now we have thriving and suffering. So now
Meaning get stronger.
Now we have choice, but
No matter
but
what.
still in this realm, when we are in the 3rd dimension, we are still matter creating from matter, and then something happens in the 4th dimension, we start to suffer.
Yeah.
We start to suffer because instead of being unconsciously unconscious fish swimming in water, in the 4th dimension we become awake. So we know, we may not know what it is, but we become consciously unconscious. Like we know we're unconscious and we're in the 4th dimension. And then the next stage of the 4th dimension before integration, which is the 5th dimension. And in the 4th dimension, we go to consciously conscious. And this is when we're still like trying to create in the material world. Like this is where most of us are, like the sages and friends we hang out with, and we're striving for integration period, because in this stage, we're still really suffering. Now we're consciously conscious. So it's not like when we were unconsciously conscious when everything was falling away and the old ways we used to meet our needs are gone. So now we're suffering because we're going without.
And
Now
the
we
material
have, now we're
matter.
consciously conscious. So we're finding our soul tribe. We have more ways,
Hey, boss.
but we're not in integration. Integration is when we watch ourselves, and I may mess up, but if I make a mistake, I could feel in my body and be like, ooh, that jolted me. I didn't like that. I'm gonna like use this foresight to create what I want, which means I'm dissolving these toxic layers, getting rid of them, and then this is the new program I'm
Or
going
having
to
plunge
implement.
in like a monk.
Yeah, so in
The
integration.
monk is in the 5th dimension,
Yes.
not attached to the material
So
stuff.
the fifth dimension is not matter
Well, I
creating
need to go to
matter.
help to
The
reintegrate.
5th dimension
Yeah.
is when there's a belief of separation until you get to the 5th dimension. And the 5th dimension is when we acknowledge and realize and don't deny that we are all the same spirit, that everything is oneness.
go to
So
disembodiment.
everything you just explained, the experts, they say, they call it the fight or flight process of the reptilian brain, which is your lower brain, which is the primitive brain. And so to use your whole process of your brain power is to recognize that you have 2 brains with other components working all together. So you have the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, and each one has a different language and programming. One's the emotional and the other's the logical. And so the experts and the people in control know this. So the political party is based on this, and so the Democrats are based on the feminine, and then the Republicans are based on the masculine. And that's why we're being divided generationally almost 50% equally, because the population usually works itself out as 50% male, 50% female, more or less. As the time goes by, it kind of balances itself out, unless the communists get involved, like in China, and where they regulate brothers and sisters and say you could not have a brother and sister, and you could only have one child to the parents. Now they're suffering the consequences of that, and now their population is not evenly divided. It's more lopsided because the parents chose the boys over the girls. And so now they have a whole bunch of extra men. And so the situation is to realize, to transcend, is to use both sides of your brain by using your mind and recognizing that you do have 2 brains, and the left corresponds to the right side of your body, and the right brain corresponds to the left side of your body. And they know this, and they know that each side of your brain produces and contributes something different to your reality. And if you're just going to use one side, you're going to be unbalanced, and you're going to be tipped over easily because you're not creative, adaptive to the situation like you could be if you're using both sides of your brain. And so that's what's going on, that we have to transcend the reptilian brain and move towards using our pineal gland, our frontal lobe, our higher level of thinking, realizing that we're no longer in competition as just a little sperm. That now that we have evolved to the point where we have a family because we have the mother and father that birthed us, then now we're part of a unit. Now we can't just be just a single sperm. We have to be part of the family because we were born into the family. And so now there's 3 people involved in the situation. So that fight or flight is no longer applicable because now you have to protect and defend and nourish and help grow the family. And so now you got to think and adapt to the situation, whatever it may be, from famine and viruses to pestilence and wars and human shenanigans. We that are alive survive all of that because our family figured out how to overcome the chaos that came during our long span of being on this planet. Because you and I and all the rest of us have a connection. It's a relay of life from the beginning of life.
Yeah, it's a relay.
And so it's not like your bloodline just pops up in the middle of the timeline. No, your bloodline is connected. In other words, your family walked in the time of Yeshua, that they say Yeshua was walking in the Middle East and doing what he did to create Christianity or whatever. Our families were walking the earth at that time period and before that. That's why we're still here. And so it's an acknowledgement and a recognition of our elders' effort, like the Native Americans love their ancestors and give thanks and gratitude to their effort to put us here in the first place to live and to be able to experience. And then their behavior was based not on the immediate, but for the next 7 generations forward, which is like we're playing checkers and they're playing chess. And that's literally what's happening with the Russians. They're masters at chess. And then we get mad because no matter what we throw at them, they overcome whatever checker game we try to throw at them because they know how to play chess and they're moving 7 moves way before we can even think, because their environment forces them to be that way. Because if they don't prepare for the winter, they're gonna die. If they don't look at that winter that's coming and prepare for it, they're gonna die. So their brains are working towards survival by planning before the issue comes. While us, we're just waiting for the issue to come, and then we're gonna be like, what do we do? What do we do? Government help, and then the government doesn't help us.
This is what
what happened in Hawaii? The fire, Lahaina, the police blocked the people from leaving, and then the survivors were left in the coast in the water for hours and hours, and surfers had to go rescue them like at 1, 2 in the morning. Where was the Coast Guard? Where's the military? Where's anybody from the authority? Oh, what were they doing? They had a, coincidentally, at the same time this has happened, a simulation of hypothetically, if it were to happen, let's get together and see how we could adapt to it. They were already together for their emergency in a hypothetical situation emergency when the real emergency is happening. And then as the thing plays out, we end up finding out that the government wants to give them $700 while throwing billions and billions at Ukraine, and the majority of Americans that I know don't agree with that. Like, how is it even possible that we throw money to foreigners, to NATO for warmongering and destruction, and then we gotta pay for the reconstruction, and then we gotta pay for the $2 million Patriot missiles each to give away to Ukraine and Israel to bomb and kill other people, and then we neglect our own people. $2 million, we could feed so many Americans. With $2 million, we can make so many tiny homes. With $2 million, we could do so much, but they'd rather buy a Patriot missile from the military-industrial complex to go blow it up and then have to go buy another one at taxpayers' expense. So we're dealing with political welfare and corporate welfare. And Bill Clinton, what did Bill Clinton say?
Hey!
Give it up.
Hey!
Give it up.
Thank you, doggy.
I'm a politician, son. Fool. I take what I want.
It's okay. We're all lovable no matter what.
Is it cool?
We only take what we need. We're cool.
Okay, that's what I need.
We're all lovable no matter what. You wouldn't have taken it if you didn't need it.
I need it.
That's right. I steal when I need stuff too. It's okay, brother. Stealing's more natural than going out working, doing
stole
exchange. We're
seeds
supposed to be
in the
doing
tree.
our
Not even a
meaning
native
and
skill.
purpose.
Jeez. I
Have a
just
good
get
one,
what I
friend.
want.
That's what's up. I feel you, brother.
So that's the state of reality that we're in, that they create scarcity where they make people do things because they feel that the scarcity is not natural. When there's abundance of everything. But the government rather, see, like the war in Iraq wasn't to take over the oil. The war in Iraq was to take their oil offline. The war that's happening against Venezuela is to take their oil offline. The war against Russia is to take their oil and their resources offline, because whatever resources that the elite claim to own, they get to charge more for it. And that's what they create scarcity purposely.
Scarcity makes people mobilize, and then it's easy to
It makes
control
people
them.
fight for crumbs and do dumb things for crumbs.
It also separates people. When there's scarcity, then it separates us. So the first thing that we need to do is come together. I've been thinking a lot about this. If we get all the enforcers on the boardwalk, Boston,
Stop. We don't need to deal with violence and forces.
Not
and nothing,
violence.
None of that. No,
I'm not talking about violence.
Look, what we need is love, and what we need is community, and what we need is family. That's the basic foundation of our reality that got us here in the first place.
I'm talking about gardening.
No, I'm talking about the foundation of our reality. And then from there it comes gardening and
we
murals
have
on the
to come
wall, cleaning the
together.
community, learning how to deactivate violence by not letting it be personal. Like when people challenge him to a fight and they say, come on, let's go fight. And then I chirp in, I be like, yo, this is not about fighting and you think you're gonna just beat them up and then hang out with us? No, get out of here. And then OG contributes to that tension and allows the person to realize it's not personal. This is not about us standing back and watching you fight, because he's correct in asking you just to keep on moving instead of standing and with your butt cheeks facing us. Like nobody wants to see your butt cheeks, keep on moving. And so when you let the people know it's not personal, that this is how we interact and treat each other, then they have to leave, because our violence doesn't work. But the population has been programmed to sit back and let men or people fight, and then the winner wins. No. If the person is correct, the person is correct, and no matter if you beat the person up, the person's still correct. So barbarianism is not the solution, and we know
I've
that.
seen you do that with
Oh,
people,
my
and I've
mix,
seen
right?
OG. I've seen you guys stop fights. I like how you guys do that. You always nip it in the bud. They always look like kind of like you almost
they
like you
want-
jolt them out of it, like their
Because
eyes.
they want it to be personal, one-on-one. I gotta prove myself to everybody. I'm tough. Like, you don't gotta prove nothing, buddy. Keep on walking. We don't even care about what level of courage you have in your heart.
Can I share a burning desire? I don't want to. I really wanted. I just want you to hear me on this. I agree with everything you're saying, and I want to support you. How do we come together to create a world where we embody the change in the world that we want to see, like you're saying about creating more food, creating more resources, making natural abundance? So Bruce and I are going to start dropping off compost.
But you keep on asking me, and then you tell me this information, and you don't allow me to answer the question. You answer the question yourself. So allow me to answer the question. You've tried that many times of creating huge gardens, only to watch it being bulldozed. I've seen you create many tiny homes, only to see the government destroy it. But guess what? It's all part of revelation. It's part of this conversation of this is what we're dealing with. Our authority figures, our representatives, our employees are acting like they own us, and they own everything that belongs to we the people. And so
We came here to get away from that too.
So we don't need the government acting and dealing with social issues when we hire them to deal with criminal issues, and the criminal issues are not being dealt with. So the police are clearly supposed to be dealing with criminal issues, not with tiny homes
I thought we
or
agreed that
people selling
community-
tacos or people being entrepreneurs. No, that's not the policing authority. So we don't need the SWAT team to
Saying that
surround
we're-
you
saying that we're
literally
vending incorrectly.
for a stage that has wheels that can be moved around. But yet they want to spend, what do the police say? Please don't do it to us again. We don't want to stand there for 3 hours looking dumb. Well, that's your leader, police officers. That's your leader leading you guys to look stupid in the community. And so that's what we need to do. So and I was just telling Yoshi that what you did, if we had created it, Hollywood style, would have been a $1 million production. but they
That's
want to
true.
contribute to their energy as fools. And so that's what we got to do, just document it and show the world how foolish they are. That's it.
The only way to do
and
it
then,
is keep
so
doing
then
it.
that puts the scale of energy where then the majority of people are behind the creators, the growers, the nourishment, the people that want to make the world better. The whole world is going to be behind us. And be like, yeah, you employees are fired. Fired.
That's what I'm saying.
Fired.
That's what I was saying about getting the enforcers. Let's get them out of here. Let's tell the sanitation people
No,
they
why
can't
keep
come
on?
here.
You're not listening. We don't need no enforcers. We need love. That's why. And
We're
if
love
you're-
crusaders.
Yeah. So stop telling. You're telling me what the police told you. The police told you to be an enforcer. No, you're not an enforcer. You're a love bug.
It's a love crusader.
Yeah. So remember who you are. Don't let the police try to re-guide you on a new, different path that they want you to be on. No, we're not here to. They want you to beat up. They trying to make you beat up another woman. It could have been. It could have been the opposite, where they're paying her, telling her to beat you up, like they do in the hood. They get the worst people in the hood, and they give them the keys and the drugs and the guns to manage the hood. That's what they've been doing repeatedly throughout the whole nation. They get the real criminals don't go to jail. They get bail and they get back out, and they keep on doing it over and over and over and over and over. Look at Epstein. He got caught, and they gave him house arrest, and he kept on doing it while on house arrest. And to this day, we don't even know the names of the people that were involved in Epstein's black book. So that's our government, protecting pedophiles and targeting patriots, targeting people that want to make the world better, make the nation better. They rather use our own energy against us, and those are not proper employees. They need to be fired. And that's what we need. We need a mass firing of all the government employees, especially the ones on unions that are using union money to pollute and to get more money with their extortion schemes from the taxpayers. So the police, they recently claimed a huge, like $1 billion new addition to their budget. So while we are speaking about our government employees, they're over there price gouging and like that lady, that prosecutor, whole Fannie Willis situation where they were embezzling government taxpayer money for swag and travel and giving each other vacations and acting like it's not part of their love situation, personal love that they say they have for each other, but all of a sudden they're embezzling taxpayer money. Like, what does that have to do with love? Why don't you just love yourself somewhere else instead of being government employees stealing all this government cash for swag?
So how do we fix the system with the same mind that made that system? I feel like we need a new mind and new systems.
Yeah, but first we got to do what you're doing, which is transparency, revelation, and showing what they're doing and what they're about by articulating. Look what you guys are doing. This is not a criminal offense. This is not anything to do with crime. But yet you want to sit here and do this whole thing for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours? Like, for reals? Why? Why, Mrs. McAdams? Why are you so focused on social issues and not criminal issues as the leader? You would think the leader would have common sense to become the leader in the first place, to say, hey, I'm a police officer, I'm supposed to deal with crime. No, why not? Why are you harassing the taco people selling tacos?
What if it's not responding to? I agree with what you're saying. And what if, like you're saying, what if instead of putting energy into responding to stuff that's going bad, imagine all of that energy and manpower. Like, they throw so much stuff away.
Yeah.
Imagine if we found people who want, because there's people who want to live outside. Like, just find a way to make it work for them.
It is workable because around the world, people live outside and it's not a problem. They're
Yeah,
called gypsies and nomads. But in
Yeah.
America, we have refugees, but we call them houseless. So then we act like it's a crime, but it's not.
It's not a crime. What the crime is that we are not living symbiotically with the planet. So because housing hurts our planet, they regulate it, but we're still hurting the planet. We need to get rid of the housing we have and create new ways of housing, new ways of travel that's not harmful for the planet and is going to run out, right? The stuff that's harmful is going to run out, thank God. But if we are in alignment with work and have a synergetic relationship with work, with Earth, which means synergetically, living synergetically means that my way of being is life enriching and enhancing to the whole. That just by me living and breathing and doing what I do, everyone benefits.
Yeah.
And we're not living synergetically. So that's why the systems are crumbling and flawed.
Because you're showing a different path.
So we must get rid of sanitation workers, police, and replace with fellowships and communities. Because so long as we're using coercive giving, which is when someone gets up to work and then they get paid to go do something, that's coercive, then they're not following the intrinsic motivation within to follow their meaning and purpose. And not all work is meant to get done. A lot of work goes undone, is left undone, and if we have someone ahead of everyone being like, go do this, go do this, go do this, there's a lot of work that gets done that's just busy work. And not all work is meant to get done, so some stuff goes undone, and then we learn to go without. And in the fifth dimension, like you were saying about trinkets and stuff earlier, it made me think about how the fifth dimension, it's not about accumulating stuff and having stuff. So why would we ever be enslaved? Now we call it work. That's just a word for enslavement. We have it deeply ingrained in us to not be able to receive from people because we used to be able to get enslaved from owning. And gift giving is natural. So what we actually need is caretakers, so that's why I focus on this tiny piece of the world, just Venice Beach. If I can just bring the people in Venice Beach together to care about Earth, to travel in a loving way, to eat food in a loving way, to have our food actually be free and have deep, authentic relationships with our food, to know our food, we wouldn't even be having this conversation about what human's gonna bomb this human or who's gonna do this or who owns that. Because in a world where you belong to the world and belong to everyone, you can't own. So today is Wednesday. It's the first sunny day.
You know what?
So I'm moving to the beach. And I moved my temple from here to here. And then the cops came by and they said, I'll be the cop and you be me.
No, I'll be the cop.
But I want to be the cop.
Daisy, haven't we told you before that you have to remove this, what do you call it?
Oh, stop. That's not what they said. So the love queen came up and she was like, Daisy, look, stare into my eyes, pretend you're me. Daisy, I love you, and I was the ice queen when I first met you, and now I'm the only officer who hugs you. Come here. I love you, Daisy. My sergeant's on to you. She knows about your tiny home. You can't have it in the home. Goddess,
Slowly but surely get back.
They told me
Wait, which cop is this?
The tall, gorgeous queen with the blonde hair. Doesn't wear very much makeup, but if she did,
You don't know her name?
No. Okay. Daisy, she's watching from the cameras. Ha ha ha! I am watching. I'm the big eye watching from the cameras. No! Don't watch me! Yes, I will watch you. No! Yes, I see everything. Get your tiny home out of here. Go to Santa Monica where they will thomp you too. But I can't exist anywhere then. That's right. You must dissolve or conform. What, you mean get a job? But if I get a job, then I won't be doing my meaning and purpose. This is what I said to her. I said, listen, I come to the boardwalk for two things. I come here to awaken, which is why I go, and there's great wisdom in this because
Wait, you can't play both parts, can you?
I'm playing all parts.
Oh.
Hey, stop playing all the parts. So we're gonna do healing circles, which is what I want to put my intention on. Tiny home shmagara. It's over here now. We're doing a showdown. That's what's up. I went and I listened to the goddess and was like, okay, I'll move it over here. And then I asked her, I was like, well, what if I take the walls off? And what if I make it like a cart? Then she goes, okay, that's fine then. So my tribe got here.
Wait, that's the truth?
Why would I say anything that's not the truth?
No, but what cop said that? See, you don't know, huh?
No.
You're making it all up.
What? If I were to make stuff up, then I don't know. I couldn't think of a good
Okay,
comeback.
so no confrontation with the cops today.
No, she likes me. So she told me, she was like, just make
You
it
keep
into
saying she. Who?
I don't know her name. I just call her goddess.
Oh, her
We're
nick-
all the same
her nickname
spirit anyway.
Call her Debbie. That's what she wants to be called.
Debbie?
Yeah,
What is that her name?
that's her nickname. She told me her real name, but she didn't want me to tell anybody.
Look at this queen.
So just call her Debbie. She's not
So
listening.
it's got the best mask.
She's listening to me, but she's not listening. She's ignoring
Stop playing
me.
my favorite game. Hold on, put your finger out.
Nope.
I'll try to bite it.
Nope.
Come on, it's good to play. You're going to release oxytocin, and when you see me, glutamate will go into your brain and say, go get that. Glutamate is what tells us
I don't need any glutamate.
that you're
I
going
got
to
it
get
all
dopamine.
right here.
So
What is
glutamate,
glutamate?
it's like the chemical that makes you go get that, like the addict who wants his drug. Glutamate is what makes him go get it. It's like the drive, the motivation to go and seek. And then dopamine is the reward. So if you receive
That I have a lot of.
So what I want is I want to trigger glutamate to be like, look, there's a sweet, go say hi. And I don't want to just not be a threat. I want to be like a source of delight.
Wait, you
and
want to be
joy.
a threat? You don't.
I
Did
don't
you hear
wanna-
what you just said?
So it's
I
not.
got my finger out.
So it's not that I don't want to be a threat. I want to be on the.
I
That's
know,
on this end
you're
of the
saying you-
spectrum. I want to be a delight.
That means you want to be a threat.
No. Yes, I am a threat. Come in my love
No,
bubble.
but that's what you're saying.
You're
You
frozen.
want
All
to
you
be
can
a
do is
threat.
think about how lovable you are. Try and move. You can't move. Stop moving. You can't move.
Okay, you're not a hypnotist now.
So
Oh, she's everything, isn't
as
she?
you roll your eyes to the back of your head, I want you to notice the level of saliva in your mouth. Lick your lips, smile. Feel your brow line relax. Unclench everything. Let your shoulders
Can you make my skin
drop
as pretty as
and
yours?
droop and come down. In fact, your skin is flawless. It's glorious, hydrated, supple. It's perfect. And so is the cadence of your heartbeat, the symphony orchestrator of all your
Okay,
organs. You
listen,
can feel them
Daisy.
relax.
No.
And now
Daisy,
we're
you
gonna go
have
down
to
the
be-
staircase
you have,
together.
Listen, I know you're a one-man show, all right? So you don't need me in your video. Do your one-man show.
Get back here. Here, go. I'm gonna taste you. Get over here. Get over here. Oh, he's too powerful. Get that superhero. Stop him. He's too amazing. I can't get him.
Good morning, Gary. Good morning, ladies. How you feeling? Oh, right on.
So my tribe told me to just bring it back here. They're like, it's a cart. Why are they messing with you? Bring it here. And I was like, it's gonna be a showdown. And I was like, I think I have to go, so I might not be here. And they were like, we're gonna show down. So even if I'm not here, they're gonna do the showdown. If I'm here, it's definitely gonna be a showdown.
Yeah, I didn't draw that.
I know you didn't, but you just like it.
Yeah, I do like it though. The same people that's connecting to me, especially with the music.
Uh-huh.
I lost track of her. I was looking
That's
for her. I
awesome.
couldn't find her.
So I have the wood flooring and the wheels to build Yoshi his cart, and I'm gonna have to figure my cart out. I think like I guess we'll love Crusade with the Master Sergeant. So she doesn't want to collaborate. I'm like, how do we collaborate and work together so all of our needs get met? She's like, no, I just know how to tell you what is a rule and what is not. And it's not partnership, it's domination. So it's very disconnecting. we're going to start a movement where we bring all of the sanitation workers, the police, the fire department together, and then all the city workers are going to meet with the community members who live here. It's going to be called Community Healing Circle. I've been doing these for 4 years since I got here. I got here in June, so almost 4 years. So this healing circle, we're going to share 3 things and look at 3 vocabulary lists. So the circle will start with everyone saying what they want to be called. So you could say your name, or you could say just what you want to be called. And then after we go around the circle, just like saying your name and having everyone look at you and acknowledge you, and having needs for being seen and known and resonated being met, that right there is really huge for a lot of people, and sometimes that's all that they can do. So people can pass or they can share, but it's just a space where we do get to be witnessed if we want. And like Alcoholics Anonymous, some people show up and they don't talk for a long time. You know, it takes us a while sometimes. So we meet everyone where they're at, and then after each share, then we do some kind of movement. So after we say our name, then it's breath work, and we might change it up, and then next everyone shares a celebration. And they look at 3 vocabulary lists. They look at body sensations, so we could talk about like, where is our breath? Where is, where's the tension? Or maybe there's energy going up and out, or maybe energy's coming in and we feel sinking, like what's happening in our body. And then the second 2 vocabulary lists are for emotions and universal needs. So what are we feeling? What needs are being met, not being met? If we're celebrating, usually our needs are being met, or we're attracting something that's going to meet our needs. And then we'll do afterwards, I teach yoga on bodies. So think of like, it's a shamanic practice. So it's based off of think of like Reiki massage meets Thai acrobatic body work. So you go into a deep trance, and then you just become aware of 5 practices, and then you move your body. So I will guide people through flow strokes, which is basically, and yoga on a body could be as simple as like, I'm gonna do some yoga. So Yoshi is sitting here, and me just like leaning on him and twisting. This is yoga on a body.
And contact dancing.
Yeah, it's also contact dancing. So, and if someone's lying down, so I developed this practice, and I was able to discover that the coccyx, the tailbone, you can stand on it for as long as you want. That's the root. So you could ground on it. And from here, you could step on the back or the legs, and you just kind of stay on the root. And when you are on hands and knees, you put your knees together, push the tailbone, and then you put your hands on the back, decompresses the whole spine. We're all chiropractors. We just have to learn how to climb on each other. So some people are not that comfortable with touch, so it might be like I was just doing with Yoshi. So what's nice about the contact practice is you try to find someone who you partner up with, and you're with the same person every week. So after we share a celebration, we do the movement practice, then we share struggles, and we look at the same 3 vocabulary lists. Then we do another movement practice, and maybe this time like everyone does like a quick 5-second move and everyone copies it. Or when we mirror each other, there's a lot of invisible connecting and things that happen. So when we finish, then everyone knows. Oh, and the last thing we share is the meaning and purpose. Okay, so we share celebrations, struggles, and the third thing we share is our meaning and purpose. So by the end of this circle, we get up and we've done breath work, we've done movement, we've had and we've received and given body work, and we've connected really deeply and authentically with each other, because when we share body sensations, feelings, and needs, we are not talking about what happened, we're not talking about who's right or wrong, we're not comparing, we're sharing neutral information. It's nothing even personal, but we're also sharing very deeply and very vulnerably. But what's beautiful is everyone has the same feelings and needs, and when we say emotions, like we feel all emotions all the time. So it's a beautiful way to connect, where it's a really literally like a judgment-free space naturally. Like we don't even have to ask people to be judgment-free. And sharing this language, I call it a language from the heart, gets us out of cognition, which is up in our heads. So when we're talking about our body, our feelings, our needs, we're manifesting in the 5th dimension, which is where we attract and create and use laws of attraction. And talking about positive, where cognition, we're talking about the negative, what is evaluation, positive or negative, what we think, our strategies, ways to coerce, force, use power over, where language of the heart softens, inspires, and there's an intrinsic motivation that arises in us where we don't have to solve problems and we don't have to like really resolve rifts or anything. When we share feelings and needs with each other and each person is able to repeat back to the other person what they were feeling and needing, then the solution will naturally find itself. And these collaborative neural pathways have atrophied, but we can grow them back because we're born with them. It's the first language we come in here speaking. So when I have my healing circles, we're gonna unite everyone. And look, there's a city worker here. I'm gonna attack him. Bruce is here. We're gonna get him. Bruce?
Hi, Bruce.
Bruce, when do I get to meet your daughter and hang out with her?
Hopefully soon.
This is for your daughter. Look how sweet your daughter is. He's so sweet and cute. He's the sweetest, cutest dad in the world. Look at him. He's so cute. Look at that. This is one of my best friends.
Edit that.
Really? You don't want your daughter to see it?
Oh, no, fine. Sure.
She could see it?
Yeah. Friend of the media.
That was a joke. That was a good joke. Hey, they wrote gullible up there.
Let's go get a phone.
Okay, let's go. I love you. Hey, see ya.
Okay, we'll see you guys. Nice truck.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, homie?
Hybrid.
Hybrid?
This is Paul. Fabian. Paul, let me take a picture. Alright, that's Paul. He's in our tribe too. He sells amazing like crystals and singing bowls. Yeah, so he's like a sage. He doesn't want to. Paul, you don't want to be on camera? You're in my tribe though. Can I introduce you?
Another time.
Okay, Paul does not. So he's kind of like Charlie from Charlie's Angels. You can only hear his voice. So that's Paul. But he's part of our tribe. He's one of the interdependent tribe members. Like, he comes here, we immediately help him out. If we need help, like, we all meet needs together. And if you have relationships where you meet needs together, it's a lot more fulfilling than like paying someone to do something. So that's what's up. All right, peace out. Love you. Good to see you guys. Love you, Yoshi. He's in here. I'm coming back. Good to see you.
It's getting rain. But with the